Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the highlights of today's First Stand 2025 matchup.
To the international stage, we've seen how confident he can play, especially when he came in as a sub.
His bachelor party. Yeah. Sorry, yes. But I'll get something right.
But it's very addictive. I have to be very cautious.
Are you a mono red player?
No.
I only know that because LS used to talk about it. I know that's an aggressive.
I just like to annoy people, so every move that I make is basically determined to wind people up. Now, Grubs have spawned, and it looks like both teams are set on contesting this.
Yeah. You're already dealing with one of them. As we can see, Kaiwing looking for an opportunity. He is itching to press that Zenith Blade button. A couple of those Grubs go over, though, and it looks like CFO going to be able to get all of them.
One smite did come through from Yike,
did it actually?
So he ended up stealing one away. So it's a 1-for-1, and it will be an advantage gained overall for... The Dragon's actually going to be started off, so thanks to the aggression that we've got from Doggo and Kaiwing in the bot lane, they've been able to get Prio. Ultimate's going to come through to try and chip away at their HP a little bit more, but crucially in the mid lane, Vladdy just losing out on these trades. And we talked about this Victor and the range advantage you have, especially once you get that upgraded E. It's just so easy for you to push and poke, and the champion can be extremely in the early game around these objectives from CFO.
Well, Jinjia still going to be able to get the stun. There's the Impale as well as it pulled out from underneath the turret. Targamas going down to 200 health as the teleports roll in. CFO with, yeah, I don't know about this one, Bloody. He's going to be able to get himself out of there, but slammed into the wall, and first blood going to Doggo. Really important, and in certain compositions, it's less. In this one, it feels like it's massive for this early game that is buying CFO so much time, right? The fact that Victor can get so much of his damage down without having to worry about an Aurora, who does benefit so much from being able to layer all of these combos over and over again.
Way down, has the TP available, but with the Eclipse ready, he's going to have a lot of damage at his disposal. Here comes the flank.
Yeah, he's going to get the flash out as Honkyu just held in position. There is the public execution as Junjia gets 3 in the Impale. Targamas over the wall, but they are outmanned. There's a true shot barrage onto 3 though, and KC are on the wrong side of the map with not a whole lot of health bar to speak of. Yike able to get himself out of there, but Junji is over that wall immediately. Not a lot of damage following after this fight, but he'll still get slammed into the wall, given that sunlight and taken down.
He completely turned the tides in CFO's favor.
Kaiwing looking for even more here as Doggo raining the damage down. There's another kill for this Ezreal. Kaiwing looking to make his way out as now it's Canna's turn to teleport in. Kaiwing should be a sitting duck, but does manage to get the CC. He'll take out the Leona, but now Doggo wanting to chase after the Ambessa here. A lot of damage raining through these mystic shots. All of them hitting. He's under the turret. He has the barrier though.
Finding the loyal. Okay, there is always a positive to take away from every situation. And hey, it's only a 2K deficit from the side of KC, but as you rightly said, it feels like that the game is only going to get harder and harder to play as it continues, as the Herald started off by Junja.
Yeah, Junja is becoming a problem as well. You can see that health bar is starting to look very difficult to get through.
Ooh.
As Doggo, yeah, taking a big chunk. Canna now looking for his angle off to the side, smacked into the wall. There's the Impale onto 1. As also Vladdy getting that ultimate in there. A lot of damage is Gallist. Killer Instinct into the backline. Junjia takes down Yike though, and he's so tanky. It is absolutely absurd. True shot barrage, but Doggo's so low he can't actually get into the fight once again. This Flame Spitter just not quite enough. And Doggo, he just doesn't want to risk it.
Doing a good job of zoning the remaining members away, but the Herald will still go down in favor of CFO. In terms of the objectives, they have just been dominating throughout this game.
Yeah, and I was looking for the eye. You know, I was going down, checking out the summoner spells and stuff like that. Looking for that opportunity. On a ward right now is Kaiwing. Gonna get publicly executed. Okay, they dive in, they take her down immediately. Junjia crashing them against the wall. Kana gonna be getting himself out of there as now Rest deciding that perhaps that wasn't the teleport angle he was looking for. A cease and desist on top of the rumble. He flashes out of there, but the double knockup from Targamas is massive. Equalizer just trying to buy them some space, and it's Yike that goes down. CFO, why did that work?
The target focus from KC was off.
Yeah, Callist, he had full health a little while ago, and Doggo saw to that. Great arcane shift, but he still gets knocked up. Callist gets into that back line, but the Equalizer still just being annoying in this fight. Targamas going to be the first to go down, and Kana, he's going to try and dash his way out, but of course, he's smacked into the wall and taken down. Shut down here for Honkyu as well, whose Victor is just being dragon to take or anything like that, but there is the Voracious Otacon. We've been getting a lot of Ruinuses. I actually was looking forward to my first Ruinous Otacon, and we don't get it. It's just going to be the Voracious version. and we are going to get the GAs. The way I like to break them up, if you've got Rod of Ages, Otacon, and you've got GA Otacon.
I see.
And this is the GA that we've got. I really want Rod of Ages, man.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, it's a long day still.
Try and keep things as even as possible as we found a pick towards his top side. Rest getting taken down low, but he does, of course, have the Otacon buff. That is going to take one of those recoveries away and does give some money over. But Vladdy, he's real dead.
They're able to avenge their top laner. And while KC have set their sights...
Can they do it again? And do they even have to? Because now it could be Kalist that's in trouble. Public execution just to get Kana out of there. Kalist gonna have to use that cleanse and the flash in order to escape, and I don't think it's gonna be enough. Doggo, Arcane Shield. Well, maybe not necessarily the Rumble as much, but Rest has been playing it exceptionally as, okay, they don't land the Solar Flare, but there's another two-man impale from Junjir, and look at it, he hasn't even lost health. It is absurd, kind of trying to dash around the fight, but he dashes to the Death Chamber instead. And Yike, he's running the wrong direction, and he's not going to be getting out of this one. Once again, Doggo just hops over, Mystic Shot for the kill, and he's now 5-0-4. He'll have an Infernal Soul in hand. They can take a Baron if they time, try and find the angle. Who his target's going to be, I have no idea.
Yeah, look at the positioning of Doggo right now as well. Playing comfortably behind his front line. He's even saying, go after Honkyu. It's fine. Target him instead of me. He's got the Zhonya's available, level 16. And just look at the poke.
Death Ray has never been named more accurately. As, yeah, Kalist's going to be going back to the fountain to mend his wounds. First inhibitor to go down. As Rest chasing after Kana. He was the one that was going for the flank angle this time around as Yike makes his way back to his team. But look at this poke. KC just have nothing to offer back. We mentioned that range before, but when you have this kind of range advantage and then just a massive lead, it's just slow, steady destruction of KC's base.
They're just letting the cannon minions do the work for them, and why not now? Rest brings the minion wave into mid. Another tower is going to fall, and KC, I mean, it feels impossible to win a fight at this point anyway, but they're going to have to try and pull the trigger soon.
Yeah, or it's decide on what to do in game 2. Because one more Nexus turret is left up and available. CFO, what an incredible debut here at First Stand. As Junjir underneath this turret, just going to pull Yike away. Cease and desist comes through. They do manage to take down the Skarner for the first time. That's looking good. But now Doggo is unleashed. The rest of KC, their Nexus is exposed. Kalist needs to go back to the fountain once again as Targamas looking for that engage into that backline. Rest, though, just melts them. He's a walking barbecue, and yeah, he goes down, but so does KC's Nexus. CFO picking up their first win here in First Stand.
An impressive performance. KC are still putting their trust in him because Yike, 3 out of 4 games, his impact to this.
Past the test of time as Junjir coming actually over the wall from the Dragon. That's a great engage from Kaiwing as Targamas completely off to the side. And now Kalist trying to play some alcove gaming, and unfortunately it is not where he wants to be. Doggo with first skewer you.
Skewer is a great
more like
word.
a javelin.
Harpoon,
yes,
even.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was true damage, and it did hurt.
And on release, it did about a bajillion damage. And so if you were the kind of player that would want to go into the middle of a team fight, press all of your buttons and die, she was the best champion ever, which is why I loved her. She was brilliant. We're talking about a champion that's not in the game, though. She was at least banned throughout both of these. We might get her in a game 3 if we make it there. KC looking to try and deliver us towards it.
Already a positive in comparison to game 1.
Precisely. They can put their focus towards the Dragon that hasn't been taken just yet. As Kaiwing going to go for another engage. There's the Glacial Prison. Targamas going to have to flash. Does get the anchor out as Doggo picks it up with a double up. That is gorgeous. Kalist's going to be able to walk out of the way of the bullet time.
He's a bit behind. He is close to level 9, though. Here we go.
Yeah, Winter's Wrath.
You can't contest this, Ginger. I don't think you can contest this.
Well, he is walking around. Somewhat in range, actually, but it's going to be Yike that wins the Smite War. Hook going to connect, but Targamas is sort of just 1v1ing against Doggo. Junjir right in amongst it now. Is Vladdy trying to get out of there? The flash forward from Junjir is crazy, and Targamas finds himself caught out. That's a killing spree. Top side getting something back for KC. As the flash forward from Honkyu, this young man going nuts against Yike, who's taken so much damage. The threaded volley will finish him off.
The support from Driver. And we're back into the action.
We are right back into it as the Grubs now going to be the focus here. KC already with 3 under their belt as Driving going to get booped back here by Kana. Should be 4 of them locked down here as Yike should be able to collect them. There we go. That is Grub number 1. CFO still haven't pulled the trigger just yet though. Doggo securing one of them. So it's maximum 5, and that is going to be what happens. Chains of Corruption come through, but Kaiwing turns it into engage as Driver gets a phenomenal crash, does immediately go down, and it's a double here for Yike. Junja says, no, remember, we're the team that gets all of the kills as Targamas going to be the first one to be taken down. He also looks for the next as Canna's put in prison, but not going to quite be enough. The Winters are up, unable to catch him, and Doggo, I don't know whether you want to tank.
There is a scary front line that they have to deal with, but they have the damage in theory to deal with it.
Well, Weaver's Wall coming on through here is now Yike. He is cornered, and everything is about zoning. They knew that he was just dead to rights. And so CFO, they take down the jungler, and they now look for a dragon that should be going their way, unless these health bars are low enough to cause a bit of an issue, but it looks like that isn't the case. Vladdy there towards the top side, doing some split pushing, as Junja at about 50%, dueling this Chemtech Drake. Driver going to move on over, is now Kalist! You're not going to be able to interrupt that ulti there as Junja gets over the wall, flashes back immediately as he realizes his mistake, and he will be ripped to shreds by that piercing arrow. CFO maybe bit off a little more they could chew that time around.
The dragon getting very low. Yike on his way back, but there's no smite here.
Yeah, they do just interrupt the queue as Driver was pretty optimistic, thinking that his Scion was going to be the deciding factor there.
Ambitiously drive. Ooh, back in the action.
Yeah, crash down there from Kaiwing. Going the wrong direction, though, as Kana might be the one that they're looking for. His health bar is relatively high, but unfortunately he can't move and he has no friends. That's Honkyu taking another kill for himself. 2-0-2 now for the Talib.
Throughout this series, you can't afford to rest on your laurels. The moment that you're out of position, this team will punish you for it.
Well, Driver going to come on over and get rid of all of these minions. I don't know about that one. Trains off the tracks a little bit here as Vladdy going to get rid of this turret and now go for the 1v1 that may take 7 years, but I think he might have the damage eventually, unless Driver just gets towards the turret. Doesn't have the unstoppable onslaught though, as he does get that knock-up. And Honkyu, he gets in there, looking for that threaded volley as Junja just sets it up for him. Man, what an alley-oop from the jump forward once again. We're getting that zoom in. Here comes the train. Chains of Corruption are going to go wide as Kalist gets that flash to get over the wall. The Glacial Prison going wide there as well as CFO. Not going to find the engage they were looking for. And you can see Yike doing a lot of damage there to Honkyu, as they do make their way.
Deserves.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Honkyu was a little bit jump scared from that one, but also didn't have the whole squad down there. And so maybe that's just what you do when you're not prepared for that level of engage. But the Dragon is going to be secured here by CFO.
Distributing the resources evenly, which means that they don't have to... I mean, they've got vision investment on the top side as well, allowing...
They're holding on to that lead. 5-0-2 though for the MF. That will do it. As far as giving you that lead. Honkyu just put his he just put his Leandries together, so he does a lot of damage, but they look for the Rel, who just says, I'm gonna Magnet Storm you, and then even crashes down forward. It was a mistake because he dies, but it's going to be a win here for CFO. That is 3 on the bench for KC. Just trying to hold them off.
I mean, that collapse was just so fast and so ruthless. Doggo.
It feels like every time. It's like, and the collapse, and like, they're always there.
And Doggo just said, all right, bet. Like, he just threw down the ultimate and tore this opposition apart. That will be our first Ruinous Artican. Of course, not the first one of the tournament, but look at that, all that XP gained as well. Level 15. He does not care.
Oh, right. Nice little stun is going to come through, but another Magnet Storm comes on down, and Doggo immediately flashing away from the ulti. Kalist not going to be connecting that one, and now they are moving forward. The double ups landing, and Doggo, he does so much damage. Honkyu looking for the seismic shove. Kana going to get that fat flash over the wall. That'll keep him alive. Make it rain, not doing too much there. So KC will be able to limp away, but that could just still mean Baron.
I mean, another failed attempt on the side of KC as CFO just continue to extend their lead. They were already in a commanding position, and this really will look to put the final nail in the coffin. Yesterday, it was a 2-1 victory for TL.
So with this Baron buff, they might be able to break open the base. Vladdy looking to go back home as it's once again cleanup duty for the Scion.
I mean, if we kind of go back to the start of this game, it was a situation where KC finally got themselves a winning bot lane 2v2, and Junja shut that down. And then, what does KC want to do? Oh, they want to try and build advantages through their solo laners so they can look to start split pushing. Well, how does CFO respond? They just find fight after fight with constant numbers advantage, and they swing even though they don't get all the early game objectives, they keep winning out on the fights. And now they find themselves securing the first tier 3 tower of the game. They've set their sights on the inhibitor, and what options do KC really have? Because if they try to go for the 5v5, I think the CFO's front to back is just stronger once again.
Yeah, this is the problem with falling behind against a composition that has 2 damage. And the problem is, if this style of composition gets ahead, it is so much harder to find that angle back in. That's why we often say that if you're a team that has a heck of a lot of damage, it's harder to execute because you still have to be very careful.
Oh, yeah.
If you throw your life away, things can really become a problem. It's not really the case here. That's, I think, why you say that this is far more of a simple composition. It's not even necessarily that it's simple, it's that it's very forgiving. Because I've heard some pretty big talk about Honkyu and what he has. Is now Callista in trouble once again, and just picked off and destroyed. Another gorgeous shove there from Honkyu, the man we were just talking about. And I think he might have heard us. Says, oh, you mean me? Let me just grab another couple of kills. 4-0-6 now for the Taliyah. They'll take down the last remaining inner turret. They're going to look for another inhibitor. Baron or no Baron, they are going to break another section of this base. And KC just left scratching their heads at this point in the series. It's been a whirlwind, and CFO have just left them in the dust.
CFO have made it look easy. A convincing game too, with very few windows of opportunity. They continue to punish. And it's just the fact that the scoreline for him.
And Vladdy going to be able to stop Doggo, but look at all of these engages as stopped. Vladdy does manage to get a decent ulti and gets himself out of there, but Yike could pay the price. The AoE is going to be there, but when there's no follow-up, it does not matter, and they trickle in one after the other. But CFO stay as a unit to defend their damage dealer. This might be a little bit of an overstep as Honkyu just goes golden. And Driver is going to do exactly as his name dictates. They take a blast cone. That is going to break up the fight a little bit. And a Weaver's Wall, speaking of breaking things up, actually might be able to create some space here. But CFO, I don't, like, the health bars are low, guys. I understand your confidence.
CFO was trying to go back to base. They were trying to show them a mercy. Kana, at the very least, will get a pick.
Yeah. Shock Blast is going to be able to lock down Honkyu. Going to die for the first time. Also gets rid of some pages in that book. Now, Junji, I don't know about that flash, as... yeah, the train is going to be able to tidy up some of them. Doggo with the bullet time gets flashed out of there by Targamas as once again over the wall goes Vladdy. And CFO, just go back home. Let's spend some of that. They might be thinking something like that. The Baron is probably going to be the one that goes away first, though. As you can see, not a whole lot of avenues in for this one. There's Kana, not going to be able to stop it. So the Purple Worm delivered towards CFO. And now one inhibitor lies between them and the enemy Nexus. As Targamas thinking about going for heroic engage. Junju able to get out of the way. The Chains of Corruption. That's some buttons on cooldown now. As the Glacial Prison, it'll ring true. Doggo has to cancel his ulti early, but these autos are doing so much. And Honkyu from over the wall finds another flick. Driver, I don't know about that one, but he gets a big old shield. Let's see whether he is going to go down. Does eventually go into that passive, but honestly, it works out just the way CFO wanted. And they're looking at a 2-0 in their debut match here at First Stand. What an incredible performance from this team.
Absolutely incredible. Convincing, coordinated, and well executed from start to finish. CFO looking strong in their first best of 3.
Yep, taking down the Nexus now as Targamas just looks to try and escape. And unfortunately, that is not going to escape the end of this game. Honkyu does the honors. The youngest player of the tournament will be able to grab that 50 gold for taking down the Nexus. A beautiful performance here from this squad.
I think that Vise and Engage is very committal. So, and, I mean, Team Liquid, they... Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, who's catching who?
Yeah, it's the sandwich. The audacious charge comes in from Umpty. He is about to get stunned up, though, and Umpty might just start this game off dead. The heal does come on through. Yon immediate cleanse. That's Captain Jack-esque. You love to see it, but you don't love to see the amount of top esports players chasing down TL, and APA is going to be the one that bites
Level
the
2
dust.
is going to come through very soon.
And Cleanse doesn't do anything against any of these. Double knockup comes through from Core. He will get stunned up, but Jackie Love is in so much trouble. Umpty just a bit body block, but it does not matter. He puts that spear to Jackie and takes him down. Because, of course, Umpty did show himself. So that means that now this chicken on the top side could be in trouble. The Vault Breaker coming forward. Oh, there's that heroic, the Justice Punch. But Navi didn't take turret aggro, so it doesn't matter. Still, Minion Wave going to be dealt with, and Impact just gives him the thumbs up. And he's fine. Remember, still has the teleport as the back is going to be into...
Kanavi, he's hovering around the bot side. They're cautious of the fact that Dragon may have been started up.
Ooh, the fake back
Has snuck
scenario.
his way in.
APA is just going to rocket jump. He will be okay. And now Jackie Love in trouble once again. We mentioned the flash cooldown. It is barely up and available. And yep, the door has to wear off. And that is another kill. And that is mission accomplished.
Ultimately, the greater good. So good job from Team Liquid.
And I think we're getting a little bit of a taste for how this Team Liquid composition wants to work as well, right? It is the just go in over and over again, but when you factor in the Galio on top of it, like, the amount of knockups is going to be absolutely absurd. The bouncy castle that TL have available to themselves, once we get to the mid and late game, it's going to be a big deal. It's just about getting yourself into a position where you can utilize it, because TES, this can be really explosive. If they get a few kills in a row, instead decided to keep his position unknown. I don't know how unknown it is. He decides to go in on Jackie Love, who does flash away. The rest of TL were going to make their way over as the Crescent Guard not necessarily keeping him as alive as he wants to. But Jan finds a beautiful ultimate. Umpty also flashing away Cream right in amongst it. And unfortunately, the door doesn't go multiple directions. Cream manages to take the first kill. And TL, he didn't kill one of them. Just one of them. These health bars are so low as Cord dives forward. APA flashing out of the way. Wind becomes lightning, but doesn't become anything else. And the Dragon is also a problem. The arrow gonna connect. It is soaked there by Core JJ. Dragon, leave it alone, buddy.
Whose alliance it should really form. And then at the end of the day,
6 grubs as well.
it's poor Jackie Love though, 0-3.
Yeah.
Really has been bullied this
I was
this
joking
game.
when I said that the goal is to kill Jackie Love more than one time.
Spawn heard you. He took that personally,
It
man.
seems to be that, like, I mean, he succeeded. They're also looking for Cream. True shot barrage, not enough. As Cream is pushed away. I do want to say, though, this is the Cream that we wanted to see yesterday.
Superstar of the roster is being set up for success right now. APA may have found an angle.
Yeah, looking for a bit of an option here. Does manage to get the explosive charge down. Mini stun into the wall with that buster shot as Core JJ maybe a little bit late to this party. And Cream sent home once again.
The Herald. APA in a bit of danger.
All right, Chris moves on forward. There's an ulti, and APA should just be dead, but Cream tanking this turret and he gets the heal from
Great
Chris.
data. As someone who's not really a believer in this champion, if he can't carry from this position, I feel like I'll have pretty compelling evidence.
Yeah, and if not, you've seen what a good Aurora is supposed to look like.
100%.
And Chris, he's going to get knocked up. He is a man with a door and not very many friends in this area. And so he will get stunned up. Arrow going to connect there as well as the Crescent Guard is used interestingly. Meanwhile, teleport comes in from Cream and the heroic entrance to try and save the jungler of TL. This is a little bit of a nightmare as Chris has the door, but Impact just says, get the heck out of here. Rains down that punch with the passive, still finds himself in no man's land and will be shut down. A 2 for 2 in the end.
Continues to push up. APA grouping with the team as well.
Ooh, a little bit of an engagement here as Cream completely pushed away. APA finding an ultimate that he was looking for as Cream's all over the place. Meanwhile, though, Umpty taking a lot of damage. Impact as well, not as tanky as he otherwise wants to be. And it's a 1-for-1. The problem is it's a 1-for-1 and there's a lot of damage onto that outer turret into the mid lane. And control is still there from top Esports.
Feels like with 369 in the area, Team Liquid really can't afford to approach.
Cease and desist and the equalizer both available as well.
They have too many resources. Kanavi has found Core JJ, but it's just more of a warning punch.
Oh, Jan, that's not where he wants to be. The flash does come on through. He cleanses to avoid the slow, and it's heroic from Umpty, but he's still done the equalizer to pick off the 80 carry. And it was only a matter of time. The delay as TS used all the...
And the moment that Jon oversteps 369, he sees the avenue of attack. He flashes onto the 80 carry of Team Liquid, and that was really what started off the demise of TL.
And this Hextech Drake, thankfully for TL, they did manage to take the first dragon. This is a...
Pressure is good. Arrow comes through.
Oh, connects there on to the Galio, so he is pretty tanky. He's still going to flash. Actually, don't even know whether he needed to. He's looking pretty tanky, but Jackie Love...
He's a 4 level behind APA, though, as the Atakan is being started off.
Yeah, this is somewhat dangerous. Teleport's available for both of the solo lanes on TL's side. Still a few seconds away for 369, but it doesn't seem to matter too much as he is in this area. And so Cream He comes down. TL still haven't pulled the trigger just yet. Remember that combo as the quickness does come on down. Jackie Love is targeted, and there's the Galio delivery. They take down the Ashe immediately. 369 still a fair bit of damage, but Cream pushed away. Umpty very low, but he's done his job for now. Able to move his way out, audaciously charging towards Otacon as it's down to 1,000 health. It's ridiculous. They lose their jungle as Impact realizes that Kanavi's here with a smite, and he can do nothing about it. The Otacon is going to be taken. The Otacon is going to be taken, and it looked so good until it was terrible. All right, never mind. Cream going to be taken out. Here is Jan looking for even more. Crisp running. Remember, this is only them being sent back to bait. No, never mind. It was the other Otacon that I didn't even think existed as the door runs out at just the wrong time. And 369 throwing these harpoons, but Jan, he is still looking for more. Ready. Top might just be looking for this dragon as it does spawn. So that is going to be dragon number 3, their second. All right.
I mean, the reality
Give it to me
is,
straight. How bad is it for TL?
it's pretty bad.
See whether he has enough time to do so. As Umpty looking to clear away as much of his jungle as he can, stay as relevant as possible. Spirit Visage is completed as CoreJJ finds a bit of a knock-up onto Kanavi. The Kanavi does not care about that one iota. There's now Impact coming in, but he's heroically entrancing onto nothing because CoreJJ is already dead. The Winds of War come down, though. Knock-up onto Cream is decent. APA not auto-attacking, and Jan wasn't quite there yet. And so, unfortunately, it's just not quite enough. Cream able to go golden to avoid the turret taking him down. And now Jackie, he's got his fangs in. The frost shot onto Jan, and there's the last auto. The revenge for the Ashe, as now they're going to take down
his... They just tear them apart. With the Baron open, it's an easy objective to convert it into. A level 17 369. And when we get to see the replay, you'll notice how it's just so quick in how they collapse because they turn their attention onto core, and then APA can't really join
Which was the Baron being taken without too much of a contest, as we're having a look at CoreJJ running really quickly, getting a nice little double knock-up. Let's see whether they actually manage to find something good here as Jan. I'm not sure about that arcane shift, just wanting to try and get behind the door as APA, he manages to get a kill. They take down Jackie Love once again, and that was one of their missions. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to keep their Nexus alive as APA, no Buster Shot, no chance. Actually does have the Buster Shot, so never you mind. Able to use that, it's gonna buy him a few extra seconds. There you go, Rocket Jump as well. Blast Cone, not even used, uses it to get rid of Kanavi instead. That's very, very cute. And yeah, he will go down. So it buys a bit of time, you could say. But in the meat from watching this game is to make it not about Aurora Vi, you just make it about Vi Rumble instead.
Oh yeah.
And that seems to have worked very, very well. As speaking of Aurora, she's going to be in a fair bit of trouble. Looks like Cream is just going to be taken down. The Equalizer going to be stood on. Umpty takes half of his health bar, but now they're going to turn it on to 369 as best they can. And he just gets melted by the Flame Spitter. CoreJJ now running for the hills. Jan is also at about 300 health as APA cannot avoid the gigantic fist of Kanavi. And TL, with just their bottom lane remaining, I don't think they're going to be able to defend as these Nexus turrets go down. The door is given, not even a true shot barrage, able to sail over as a grand entrance coming on through. But TL, I think they know that this one is done and dusted. And I think they're happy that 369 cannot play Rumble again in this series. This guy has looked so good. Top Esports really bouncing back from a difficult day one as they take their first Nexus of first stand.
369. I think that top side is scary, and Top Esports are playing rotation in lane. Oh, now the threat of a dive is here.
All right, APA just going to chains onto Umpty there as well, but we're going to back away from that. Don't want to watch it. Going to check out this solo kill here from Cream.
I'm curious if he actually had the electrocute back up. Connects the E, do here. Even if he rotates over, his wave's in a bit of an awkward spot. Now the rotation is going to come through. Umpty should feel confident to try and fight this.
Yeah, APA, can he manage to snare him? He does get it off. As Cream, he's going to be moving in, finds yet another set of chains, and there it is! Cool guys don't look at explosions. He's walking away while he's picking up the kill. 2-0 now for this Silas. There's CoreJJ moving in, a lot of damage onto Kanavi. Bit of a disaster, 20 CS the lead. As Cream's taking a lot of damage, but it just feels like it's incidental coming from this way in the mid lane. As 369 does land some Infernal Chains, and Impact doesn't seem too worried about it. This is Wet Noodles, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Aatrox is a damaging champion, but Cassante doesn't care.
Pretty much. Ultimately, though, 369 is still doing well in the 1v1.
Indeed.
As Grub's secured Umpty is because with that pressure, it's not just one person moving over, it's two. And if you have early prio, oh, hang on, Umpty looking for a play.
Yeah, there's the all-out. 369, World Ender does come on through. We'll see whether Umpty can get this twisted advance to work out. Bramble smash to push him back there as well. Great knock-up, but 369 still in trouble. Getting the sweet spot on that Q, though, fantastic.
Wave's in a good spot for Yon. JJ with level 6. Oh,
all right. There's the spiraling as Cream's in trouble. The Bramble's gonna deserve a flash here as Cream is just going to sidestep and he is A-OK. All right, in comes Kanavi. APA gonna get taken down. Try and stay as relevant as possible in this game. And they will still have a very powerful team fight if they get to that point.
There's a win condition,
for
sure. The problem is how neutered will they be prior to reaching that win condition? Because you look at the bottom of your screen, and you see red, 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 red.
It's a lot of red, yeah.
Yeah.
The numbers aren't 3 digits yet, though, so that's good news.
You know what I mean? Always looking at the bright side.
Well, this may not necessarily be as much as Top Esports are moving down, trying to push them away as the Brambles come out. Nature is grasping. They do manage to get a few as Kanavi just says no, gives them the shield. And in goes Umpty. They still want to find it. Depth charge comes down. Pop Blossom connects onto a couple. Kanavi does go down, but there's the Fate's Call to make sure that Core JJ is safe. And 369.
Follow up onto 369.
They also get 369's flash there as well. Felt like he was pretty dead to rights regardless. Top Esports still going to be able to grab themselves this Dragon. They have 6 scrubs yet again. Avoid these Infernal Chains, and you can see he's able to do so, but the Darkened Blade just kind of makes things unfair as, okay, in they go once again. The double knockups are gorgeous, but the Pop Blossom is set up, and Yon takes so much damage. There's Kanavi, lands the spear. Does have a 27 gold advantage. Cream not able to find those chains, but only because Yon's able to have the reaction time to get out of the way. 369 going to get all outed here as the Otacon wall's making things confusing. Let's see whether this solo kill can come on through as the thumbs up as well.
Scary position for TL to be in because this is where Top Esports can really break the game open.
Well, they're looking for a dive onto 369. And there's the Fate's Call to start it off. Let's see whether they can get enough burst because he could just get a bunch of that back. And you can see, oh man, the Ren does finally, never mind, it's not enough. And 369 stays alive through it all. Finally, the all out, but 369 still alive. They have to flash for it. And TES, they threw the kitchen sink at 369 and he just said, thank you very much, I'm remodeling my house.
As Leonidas once said, give them nothing, but take from them everything.
Themselves hoping to try and keep up that momentum of taking 369 off the map. And now, APA, oh dear. I don't think he's getting out of this one. Decent little fear, but that spiraling despair. This one is the scary one. And that really felt like a back-breaking moment there towards the bottom lane. Now insult added to injury. As Impact just looking to see what he can do here. The all-out does come on down. Pop Blossom coming through. Umpty is going to be here as well. But Impact just not enough damage here. I think
on 10 kills to 5. It's a 6K gold lead, and we're just cresting the 20-minute mark. They're going to try again.
You do not succeed. Just go for it again. This time it's Umpty and Yon trying to get the work done. But 369 also, he's real a couple of times, but it feels like as soon as that first item's done, it's just so hard. And now, Top Esports able to move on over to this Ruinous Otacon.
So much Ruinous Otacon.
I know, this is so, yeah, Voracious. I really love that that Otacon. It was
like every game,
so
Ruinous, Ruinous, Ruinous. Like we just can't get away from it.
Well, actually, do you know what it feels like for me? It feels like now that it's just been changed. It's like burn damage, the aura, that sounds fun.
I feel like...
a little bit more of a battle. Chains of Corruption, though, Umpty is just dead. APA not able to find too much here as the Pop Blossom on opposed carries. Yon picks up Core JJ though, and Cream may have overstepped the Rend. I don't think it's going to do enough, and Cream wasn't even in range as Yon flashes away trying to keep himself alive, and Crisp, he roots him. There's the piercing arrow. Jackie Love absolutely gorgeously done, and now it is Impact. Top Esports now with all of the control in this game. You can see the gold difference powered by AWS here as it's fallen off a bit of a Top Esports cliff. And now, possible catch opportunity here, but Umpty realizes, no, it's not. 369 turns up. They've got the lesson when it comes to this Aatrox. And Impact, unfortunately, gonna have to flash away.
2 versus 2 was very difficult for them to navigate. And Kanavi's really, once again, just been running away with this Pantheon, similar to what we saw in Game 1.
8, 2, and 6.
We thought that 369 was going to be a little bit quieter, considering how separated the top lane felt in terms of the matchup, but then he had a few
Wasn't
highlights.
their jungle at all. And Umpty just forced to move back. And inside your fountain, there's just not a whole lot of money to gather, not a whole lot of objectives you can contest. And Kanavi going to throw the Herald through. That is going to be Jackie Love, locked down by Core JJ, but unfortunately there is no follow-up, there is no nothing, there is no turret left in this mid lane either. And TL, I mean, they just lose a bunch of health bars and just have to give everything up.
They're out of options, they're out of time, their base is crumbling, and the CC...
These clones being thrown out whenever they want as well just gives Crisp a whole lot of control of this area. But TL with information, and if they give up this Baron, it's likely the end of the game, so you may as well just look for anything you can. Crisp off to the side. This Pop Blossom could be really scary as that's a stolen depth charge thrown towards the Kalista. They try and block 369. It is kind of working beyond. He's actually going to use the passive to get towards him. Piercing arrow not quite long enough. They take down one, but is it going to be enough? And I think the answer, unfortunately, NA fans, is not going to be anything, as Cream is able to clean things up and the rest of TES going to move forward. It's not a clean ace this time around, but that is the only thing he can be happy about, as Yon underneath this inhibitor turret going to get flashed on by Cream. And TS, they can take themselves a Baron, and they could also just choose to end the game.
It looks like they're going to make this series a 2-0, a quick day overall. Atlas as top esports get a nice bounce back after their loss yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be Nexus Turret 1 focused, and top esports, this is exactly that bounce back that we were looking for, because some people were saying that HLE were looking like they weren't going to be contested, and top esports saying, no, we just had a bit of an off day, looking absolutely fantastic here up against TL, and we'll see whether that rematch does come on through as the Nexus falls for the second time this series, and an angry top esports claim their first victory here at First Stand.